Alright, so welcome to my very first scripting tutorial. I am going to teach you how to print objects, print items, print variables, print pretty much anything in Roblox Lua. So first you have to have a script, obviously. And we notice that the first thing you see whenever you open a script is print hello world. This essentially prints out hello world, as I'll show you if I run the game. Print out hello world in our output. Now output is essentially, it shows errors in your scripts. For instance, I'm going to put a random letter. It says, hey, we can't run this script because there's an error, and if you click on it, it shows you where the error is. Or if you run it and it prints hello world, it shows you where that print came from. It is very useful for debugging scripts and very large programs, and I'll get more into that later on my tutorials. Right now, we don't really have to worry about that. We're just worrying about printing items. So I'm going to go ahead and print the base plate. So I'm going to go ahead and do print game.workspace.baseplate. This will print the object baseplate, as you can see, right? Now, I could also do many other things with that, like print baseplate.name, class name. This would print part because baseplate is a part. I could do .name. It would print baseplate because the name is baseplate. I could do brick color, and it would print dark stone gray, which is the brick color. I could pretty much do anything with printing that, which is pretty helpful if you're debugging and you're trying to figure out why something isn't changing colors or doing something. You could just print out the current value, and if it doesn't change, then you know there's something wrong. Now, printing is cool and all. You're like, you may think, why do I need to know how to print things? Well, it's a very nice thing to have when you're debugging extremely long programs like I mentioned before. When I do huge programs, I usually put a print statement every 10 or so lines or in every function to make sure that function is running. If that print statement does not go off, then it's not running, and then I have to figure out why it's not running, and it helps a lot. Also, you could print out variables, like for instance, I'm going to put a variable, or not a variable, I'm going to put a value, into server storage. I'm going to call this value number. Now I'm going to go ahead and print the number, right? So that will print number, the number object value. In order to print the actual value, you have to do number.value. That will print the value of the object, which is 1. And it's like that for any number, any integer value, any number value, any string value, any boolean value. Any of those, you have to do .value, or it will call attempt to index user data value with whatever your object is. And that's not good because it's an error and the script won't run all the way through. The other thing you can do with print statements are also, in case I didn't mention it before, you could use these, which quotation marks, or you can use single quotation marks like that, and it does the same thing. But they both have different uses. I mainly use quotation marks because it's just easier, and it's a habit I have. But you can use these, and they might error depending on what you're trying to do, but I'll get into why they might error later tutorials. But I'm just going to go ahead and use quotation marks for now until the time arises that I need to use the other ones. Now, you can concatenate a string using 2 periods. This essentially separates it and lets you call, it adds something to the string. So I'm going to do game.server storage.number that would print the number value like I mentioned before. And I'm going to do the number is 1. And the reason why there's no space is because I did not put a space after is. If you want there to be a space, you have to put a space after the last word or letter or whatever it is, because it's basically smashing everything that's there together in one single line, like it is here. And now if we run it, it will print the number is 1. That's essentially how print statements work. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or message me on Discord. I will link my Discord in the description. And that's pretty much it. Until next time, see ya.